What's going on, everybody? 𝘮𝘠𝘭𝘢𝘪𝘮𝘦, Functional Medicine, coming to you from the Good Life City here in Albany, Georgia, located inside of the Medicine Man's Corner. So I just got done with another training from A4M about the microbiome, and it just blew my mind. So I want to hop on, make a quick video about it. So the microbiome is basically a very complex rainforest that lives in all of our guts. It's made up of trillions of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, which all play together. So if some of these get out of whack, that's known as dysbiosis. That's a huge word thrown around in the medical community now. I'm sure you see it online, but I kind of wanted to unpack that. So how does this microbiome take shape in a human? So we've got to go all the way back to when a human or a fetus is in utero, right? So we've got to take into account the mother's diet, the father's diet also, and then there are loads of studies that talk about the delivery method. So if a baby is born via C-section, it's going to miss out on the vaginal flora that can help populate that microbiome. So if a baby is born via a normal vaginal delivery, that will help set up a healthy microbiome. The second thing that helps set up a healthy microbiome is being breastfed. The third thing is not being very sick as a child. So if you're really sick as a child, you take loads of antibiotics. This can really disrupt that microbiome and cause this dysbiosis. So other things that can affect it are obviously our standard American diet. We have loads of chemicals in our foods these days, and our bodies were not made to take these in. So if we do, it really damages the gut, which can cause loads of symptoms. So the class talked a lot about the microbiome, and then what does the microbiome modulate? So 70% of the immune system is modulated by that gut. So it's very key to set up a healthy microbiome via a normal vaginal delivery, being breastfed, not taking loads of antibiotics as a child, and eating clean, organic, whole natural foods. So those are the base things that we want to do. If some of those things did not happen, then that's not your fault. I was not breastfed, and I understand everyone can't be breastfed, but that's just the science behind it and things that we want to ask. So I ask every single one of my patients, were they vaginally delivered? Were they breastfed? Were they really sick as a child? Did they take lots of antibiotics? Did they have their tonsils removed, their adenoids? What's their diet been? What kind of foods were they fed as a child? So this gives us loads of information before we want to do any testing. So like I said, that microbiome, it modulates the immune system. It's been associated with different types of cancer. Another thing that is super interesting to me is the gut-brain connection. So I've done psychiatry for years, and we never get to the root cause of why a patient is depressed, anxious, has bipolar, schizophrenia. But there are lots of studies coming out showing the link of the gut-brain axis. So most of the chemicals that the brain makes are made in the gut. So most of the serotonin in the human body is actually in that gut. So some of these gut bugs, microbes, are making these chemicals, and then obviously it has a lot to do with our food that we eat. So some of the testing I use this FIT food inflammation test. It's by KBMO. It's a quick finger stick. This test for 132 foods, chemicals, additives. It's a food sensitivity test. So once we get that report back, we can tell you which foods your immune system is reacting to. And then we generally pull those foods off for a while we repair the gut, and then you can generally go back to eating these foods. I've seen food sensitivity tests make a huge difference in people's health. I had one patient, he was having palpitations, funny heartbeats, lots of other non-specific symptoms. He went to loads of doctors. They put him on medications, came in to see me. We found a high sensitivity to gluten and wheat. So he removed it. He lost 20 to 30 pounds, and all of his symptoms were resolved simply by removing gluten and wheat. And then the other test y'all see me talk about is this GI map. This is a stool test that looks at that microbiome It's seeing if it's within normal limits or if it's out of whack. So this does an in-depth look at that microbiome, those trillions of cells. We want to have certain bacteria as the base, and then it's looking at overgrowth of certain bacteria, undergrowth of certain bacteria. It's looking for pathogens. It looks at parasites, bacterial pathogens, Candida overgrowth, yeast, lots of pathogens this thing can rule out. One of the key things it rules out is H. pylori. H. pylori is very prevalent, associated with gastric ulcers, GERD, non-specific belly pain, and then I was also reading a study that's been associated with Hashimoto's. So this GI map, once again, it's looking at the microbiome, pathogens, parasites, infections. It's looking at how we digest things. So the gut bugs assimilate foods. Some of the bacteria actually make vitamins. So it's key to look at that. It's also looking at digestive markers such as the pancreas and gallbladder. We can glean information about a person's stress. And then it's also looking at how hormones are recycled and other toxins. That marker is called 𝘱𝘠𝘓𝘂𝑡𝑒𝑟𝑒𝑡ase. So if you got any questions, shoot me a message. Let me know if you're having any brain dysfunction, gut dysfunction, autoimmunity, which is huge in today's society. It's skyrocketing, likely because of all of this gut dysfunction and processed chemical-laden food. Let me know. Love to talk to you, get to know you, and get to the root cause of your problems. Thank you.